Every weekday between 1 and 2 p.m., we air our Central Indiana scoreboard show. It's kind of like ESPN Radio Sports Center, but focused on Central Indiana, like the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IndyCar, IU, Purdue, Ball State, Taylor, Indiana Wesleyan, Anderson, and IUK, plus the best high school sports coverage around, covering varsity sports in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and Northern Hamilton counties. Please join us.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
We should start with that song.
Yes,
All right,
sir! This is our Colts. This is our team. For the shoe.
Welcome, Pacers fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. I'm joined by Mike Rich, John Robertson, Will Rutherford, and Mike Cutzel here to talk about the Pacers and Knicks. And Will, you won't be needed for this first part. Guys, what are your favorite memories of this series? We'll start with you, Mike Rich.
Oh, God. Well, 2000 probably. It's when we went to the finals and beat them. So when we won and went to the finals, it'd have to be all time.
The choke from Reggie. The 2 hands on the neck, Reggie choke. It's iconic. You got to love it.
It was really the day the Pacers franchise came alive. It was irrelevant franchise until that night. Mike?
And so I got to go with my namesake Rich there and agree with him.
All right, so let's just get to it, guys. Pacers and how many?
I think it's going to be – I've been thinking about it. I said 5 the first time. There's no way it's going to be 5. I'm thinking this probably will go 7. I still take the Pacers in 7.
I've got Pacers in 6. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I'm going to go Pacers in 6.
I'm saying Pacers in 6. This is going to be a bare knuckle boxing match.
Let's just put it out there. Let's just sweep them. Let's get it over with. Pacers going to sweep.
I was going to say 5 games, and I thought I was going to be the rebel.
No, I'm overconfident at this point. I'm Seth DeFlo. I'm ready to go with this, man. Pacers in 4.
It's bold. Wow. I love it, though. I love it.
It'd be great. I just don't see the league letting it happen. There's no way. There's no way they're going to let this series be over in 4.
No, because the Thunder are going to make quick work of the Wolves too. They're going to maximize this. Honestly, though, they might not. They might just not give a shit either because they're 3 small market teams. They don't. Their wet dreams already been ruined by the Lakers laying an egg
in the finals. They really, really, really want the Knicks in the final.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they'd love it because I don't know. OKC, I don't know. They had that run in the early 2010s. I think they have a stronger fan base than people give them credit for. But I mean, Oklahoma City in general is a small market. But I think their fan base, especially with that was KD. That's a huge part of my generation is kind of him and Westbrook and just I feel like that they are a little unforgotten as far as being a good strong fan base, especially in the young generation.
Well, and give Oklahoma City fans credit. They wear their shirts. They are loud. They're there at the games. They may be a small market compared to other teams, but they are loyal. They are loyal fans.
You have to be loyal as much talent as they let get out of that city. I mean, but they just continue to build even better. I mean, I think OKC will probably take the series in 4 or 5 and make quick work of the Timberwolves. But
can we take a moment to acknowledge that 2 teams that Paul George left are in the Final Four?
I was just getting ready to say, can we get a live stream of Paul George during a Oklahoma City?
I'm sure he's podcasting about it.
Yeah. He's great at that. He's great at talking out of his ass. It's playing that he's not, very good at.
Come on, Will.
I'm so glad that Doucher is out of Indy. I'm so glad he is. I just, it made my heart happy. He just ran his mouth, forced his way out, and put this organization back, a couple years in what he did and the way he acted. Tyrese is so above what Paul George ever thought Paul George was. It's just beyond comprehension.
But, both these teams are here in large part because of those Paul George trades.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things I was kind of alluding to is like if it weren't for the way the Paul George trades went down and happened, like I still don't like him. I agree with Will. I dislike Paul George so much because of the way he left. But, because of the trades that happened, yeah, that's why we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not alarmed at all that everybody gets better when Paul George leaves. Great.
He's an absolute. I don't wanted to say clubhouse, but locker room cancer. It's all about Paul George all the time. It's whatever Paul George wants. Yeah, Greg's scoffing. I mean,
that's just not true. Everybody loved him.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad everyone loved him, but everybody seems to get better when he leaves. So there's clearly something going on.
Clippers in the Final Four next season.
That's right. Clippers and Sixers after he leaves. You can count it.
If Philadelphia can figure out a way to get rid of that guy, that's the best GM work anybody's ever done.
Nobody wants his contract. He's too expensive, and he just doesn't. The production's not there anymore. He's still a good two-way player, but he's not.
The last time we saw him, who knows by now? I wouldn't want him anymore. And Mike Rich knows. I love Paul George.
I remember reading talk in the offseason about the Pacers bringing him back as the veteran to get this team over the hump. And I'm like, please, God, no, do not go anywhere near this guy. He will absolutely derail all the momentum that this franchise has. And so he went to Philly, and guess what happened? He derailed all the momentum that franchise.
That's Embiid that derails all the momentum in Philly.
There's a lot of problems going on there that I could spend a whole hour and a half on, but I won't. So.
Well, speaking of it,
I just want to make it perfectly clear before we go on about this. I love you, Paul George.
Speaking of Embiid, he's like Tyrese said, Embiid's been sending him text messages, giving him encouragement and advice on how to play in the playoffs. And I was like, why are you taking advice from Embiid? Because you played more Eastern Conference Finals than he has.
Well, he's played two more. He's actually played an infinite amount of Eastern Conference Finals more than Joel Embiid has because he has 0. And he's a complete doucher, too. I mean, sitting there talking, they run that Court of Gold trade or, whatever on Netflix. And he's like, oh, I'd never go to Indy. It's like, okay, shut the hell up, guy. We don't want you anyway. You never fit in Indy. Never.
No way.
Oh. And that's why Indy's where they're at is because they have – they're picking players. They pick up players that fit the team. They fit their roles. They play their roles to the max. And that's why they're where they're at 2 years in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lunch pail group. They're hardworking. Yep. I think Neesmith's the perfect example of just an excellent trade. He is so pivotal. I even forget Malcolm Brogdon exists. That's how big of a win that trade ended up being for a Pacers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about Kevin Pritchard in the draft, and Mike Hutzel and I have a tradition of trashing him on draft day every year. But, man, has there ever been anyone better at making trades? Maybe Jerry West because he had the Lakers with him on his name. But, man, every trade he's made has been gold.
Yeah. Have they lost a trade in the last 10 years?
I guess you have to just give him credit for his foresight because I'll be very open about I've questioned a lot of the trades when they happen. I'm like, I don't understand this. I was like, I gotta believe he knows more than I do. Yeah, and then a few years down the road, we're like, okay, we see the vision. He had the vision, so you got to give him credit there. I'm to the point where I'm gonna try and stop questioning him, but in the moment.
And one of the amazing things about it is he takes bad situations and still manages to make good trades out of them.
Yeah.
Paul George was a lose-lose situation for Indiana, and he got two what ended up being franchise cornerstones that sort of righted the ship there when the Paul George thing could have completely fallen apart. And then when you had the Miles Domas debate going on for who should they keep, he knew that Domas had this slightly higher value at the time and ended up trading for Halliburton, who's become the franchise player. And then Brogdon, I mean, everybody in Indy wanted him gone, and he ends up with Neesmith when it seemed like he was just throwing a guy to Boston just to get him off the roster. It's just amazing how he can take terrible situations and end up turning them into advantageous rewards back to the team.
Do you think that part of that is that when the players that, you know, the other teams they like don't want and they make it feel like we're not getting anything, and they come here and they buy into the blue collar gold swagger, we're going to work hard, and then they end up making a great team, and that's why Pacers basketball has become team basketball, right? Like everybody buys into that.
It's the island of misfit toys. Everybody's basically unwanted. Even Miles Turner's unwanted in Indiana really up until the last. I mean, I don't know if there's a player that gets shit on more in the league as far as being a part of trade rumors every single year for no reason. He's done nothing but represent this city and organization with nothing but first class attitude. And I mean, even Halliburton. I mean, that documentary that you sent on YouTube, I excellent watch, by the way. You know, just how shocked he was when he was traded from Sacramento. And it's like the first questioning of his entire basketball career of like, somebody didn't want me. And it's like he comes to Indy and they just, I mean, this, I guess, community and organization has done nothing but embrace him with open arms. I mean, and they've done that with everybody. Everybody loves Andrew Nembhard. I mean, everybody loves Aaron Neesmith. Everybody, Siakam was a commodity, but I mean, everybody loves these role players. I mean, no other teams cheering McConnell on like the Pacers do. Nobody.
Toppin or, I mean, yeah.
Thomas Bryant. I mean,
yeah.
So, since you mentioned Toppin, I think he's going to be a big role player in this upcoming series because he came from New York, right? So he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Wouldn't it be great for him if he just shows out in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks? And like, he's such an electric player. Like the one oop from Hallie to Obi is going to just set the place on fire or shut it down if it's in New York.
Mm-hmm. He played really well at MSG last year in that series.
He did,
at least on offense.
I think Obi Toppin, he's like that guy in postseason baseball that comes into the eighth inning in a one-run game and gets on first and steals 2 bags. Like he's a lightning rod of excitement. He's not a guy that, you know, you don't want that pinch runner guy or, you know, getting 4 at bats, but you want him there in the eighth inning. You want him when the game matters. And I think Toppin, he is that. If there's a spark plug on the team as far as that next level of intensity, excitement in an arena, it's him.
Yeah,
he's the only high flyer really on that team. No one else is really. Neesmith he's laid the hammer down a few times, but I mean, he's not. Obi Toppin is going up and seeking violence every time he attacks the rim. I don't know if Neesmith is.
Yeah, the only super athlete on the team, I think.
He's the only guy I've ever seen pull off the J.R. Ryder between the legs during a game. And he's done it multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching highlights earlier today just because I had some free time. And one of my favorites is the Hallie through the leg alley-oop to the Obi Toppin ridiculous stuff. Like, that's just – it's a highlight for the ages, right? Like, that's such a good one.
Well, and I think what's so special about it, you watch that play, like Halliburton at no point, he easily could have just taken that and dunked. Gotten 2 points, gotten the layup, and it's like he looked and turned around to see who was there. Like he was throwing it up to somebody. And what more can you ask for your leader? I mean, to do that, he could have. I mean, that's a stat padding. He could have taken the easy point, easy dunk, whatever, and he gave Obi Toppin one of the, highlight a poster that he's going to hang up in his house, and 10 years from now, when his career's over.
Well, I think that's one of the things I like about Halliburton is he wants to facilitate others. He takes pride in being a passing point guard. He loves the assist stat almost as much as points, probably if not more. You look at last year when they had the All-Star game here in Indy, he had all the big names like Shaq and Barkley saying, don't pass it, take the points. And Hallie's like, that's what I do. It's my thing. Passing's my thing. So, like, that brings everybody around him up, and that's I love and respect that about him.
we've hit on all these trades in this podcast so far. I don't even remember what the Obi Toppin trade was. How did he end up here? Does anybody off the top of their head?
Okay, my bad.
July of 23, 2 second-round draft picks. To the Knicks. Again.
Other than Pritchard's actually been really good in the second round, that's probably where he's been best, is the second round. I mean, getting Nembhard, show me 5 guys from his draft class that are making more of an impact on their team right now than Andrew Nembhard. You'd be hard-pressed to do it. I mean, he might be top 3 as far as what he's doing offensively and defensively.
What do we have him for? 3 more years at $19 million a year?
Fleece.
Stealing them.
So, since Nembhard's a great conversation to bring up, because most of the chatter from Knicks fans is that Nembhard is not going to be able to defend Brunson, and I think they are disrespecting Nembhard's defense by a long shot on socials. I think Nembhard's defense is great. Now, I think he's going to have a hard time with Brunson. I think he's not going to be able to stop Brunson. He might be able to slow him down, but I still think he's better than New York fans expect.
We're all in agreement. I mean, we hated Donovan Mitchell for being a foul merchant, but we're all fully prepared for what's coming with Jalen Brunson, right?
Oh, it'll be way worse than Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. 27 foul shots a game, I'm guessing, might be his average.
You know, I actually don't. I think that Nesmith will guard Brunson. I think they'll try to use Nesmith's length to bother Brunson. I think that was kind of a turning point in the series last year when they started switching Nesmith on to Brunson. I think that made I wouldn't have Nembhard guard him, maybe in spurts, but I would say that Nesmith will be likely the one following him.
If they go that route, are you comfortable with Nembhard on Bridges?
Yeah, I am. I think that Nembhard, I think it'll be a flip-flop. I think that it's going to be kind of rotation who's actually in the game. I think that it's going to be probably a 50-50 timeshare, but yes, I'm comfortable with, because I think Nembhard's, I don't know if he's a great, like, back to the basket kind of defender where, like a slasher in the way that Brunson is, but he's really good extended out on the perimeter. He might be the best extended perimeter defender in the entire league. I would feel comfortable with that.
I think they're going to be guarding Brunson full court most of the time.
He's going to see a lot of different looks from a lot of different guys. Matherin's going to spend some time on him. They like Ben Shepherd's defense. He might see some time on him.
I know this sounds crazy. Sorry. I think Walker could be on him at some point. If they want to switch up a look, Jarris can guard him. I mean, he's going to be if he's going to be the player that is going to be able to stop Brunson going to the basket. I think is just with his size, he's going to disrupt. I mean, if there's a player that can probably guard 1 through 4 in a way that Nesmith can, it's Walker.
I say, since we've hit on so many of our favorites with, Paul George being brought up earlier, and then we went to Malcolm Brogdon. Let's go to one of the great coulda, shoulda, woulda been Pacers, OG Anunoby, who was famously passed over for TJ Leaf. Him getting hurt last year in that series really seemed to turn things around. How do the Pacers match up with, we talked about athletic freaks with Obi, but he's arguably one of the best defenders in the league, and he is an absolute freak athletically. Who do you put on OG, and how do you go about with stopping him?
I think it's probably Nesmith, or if Nesmith's not guarding Brunson, then I think it's him. If not, Siakam can guard him. And Siakam's offense, I think, he's kind of like undefendable a little bit. He just kind of hits shots in people's mouth. Like, it doesn't really matter what you do to Siakam. Like, he's going to get to his spot and he's going to hit shots. So I'm not, the athleticism I think will be something, but I think the Pacers are just going to wear guys like Anunoby down, who have to play so hard for 40 minutes a night to keep going at the Pacers. I think that after Game 3, he might become a non-factor a little bit.
I think Siakam will be on him. I think Siakam can contain, and I think wear him out on our offensive end.
The fact that there are 2 of them that concern me, 2 of them who are so good, and Hart is such a good player. Mike Hutzel said it earlier that might be the best starting 5 in the NBA. the issue for them is going to be their depth against ours. It'll be interesting to see how Carlisle plays that.
And Thibodeau does not like a bench.
He does not like the bench.
He does not like the bench. Deuce McBride will see some minutes. Cam Payne might see some minutes, but that guy rides those starters runs them into the ground. So that is one huge advantage I see for Indiana going into the series. And will the Knicks absolutely break down if it's a long series, because Thibodeau is he saddles up those horses and he runs them until they can't go any further.
And that's what we hope. We hope the tempo is in the Pacers' favor and they can control it and they can run up and down the court and wear New York down. Because as soon as they go to their bench or you get somebody in foul trouble, that's where we're going to take over the opportunities. I'm excited for the first game. I really hope we take that first one in New York and just build from there. I think there's going to be a couple blowouts. I think it'll go both ways. It'll go back and forth. But I think if it gets into 6 or 7, I just think that the Pacers are too deep to not have the manpower to win the game 7.
I see close games throughout the series.
I think the first game will be a blowout.
Mike, we talked, posed that question, but we sit here and talk about these combinations of who's going to defend who, this, that, and the other. I mean, the Pacers can legitimately throw 4 guys at Brunson. I mean, he could, Carlisle can throw all the bullets. He can. I mean, TJ McConnell may not play but 12 minutes, but they're going to be in your ass. 12 minutes for Brunson. McConnell, he might get 5 fouls. He might have 5 fouls, and that's completely fine. But you're going to throw Ben Shepherd at him. You're going to throw Ben Shepherd as much as we hate to see it. He's going to get thrown at Brunson at some point. You've got Walker that'll come out and play some perimeter defense. Brian will give Turner. I mean, and then the thug Ben Matherin, who's just going to come in and probably just start fighting someone, which I just love. I love it.
We condone violence on the Central Indiana Sports Report. That's our philosophy.
Will Retherford condones violence. The rest of you can take your wherever you go, but I condone. I'd love if Ben Matherin just went and punched Brunson right in the mouth. Game 1, just walked down the court and just socked him right in the mouth. Let him know, hey, we're here to play.
So this year he's offensively been the best player we've had.
The city of thuggish, ruggish Caitlin Clark. It surprises me nothing that we're having this discussion.
Yeah. Well, the one I will say on that, I'm not going to condone violence. I'm not going to take it to the Will level, but I will say if you're going to get your foul on Brunson, if Brunson's going to bait a foul, you might as well make it worth the foul, right? So if you're going to
DJ McConnell, Jalen Brunson brawl, that would be so much fun.
Jalen Brunson, You think TJ McConnell, that guy has got a lot of grit. He's sandpaper and jam. He'd be a hell of a hockey player if he would have gone that direction in life. But I don't know. Brunson, he kind of seems like he could beat the shit out of somebody a little bit too.
Just stick James Johnson in and just let him take him out.
It might happen. You might see I feel like you might see a James Johnson a few times. If it's a blowout and they want to, and Thibodeau's not going to take him out, I think you could see a couple a couple tough fouls, set the tone, take care of business a little bit.
I mean, Knicks were up 40 points and still had their starters in against Boston. Ridiculous.
I hope we do that against them. So
I do too, but I wouldn't want our starters in. We wouldn't need our starters in.
Yeah.
I got a short-term memory. Have we discussed the Towns versus Miles matchup yet too? Because I think that's going to play a big factor in the game.
Whoever plays more defense of the two will probably, which is, I mean, a grace of God himself. If either one of them are even going to think about defense, would be my guess. This will set the record for most 3-pointers attempted by the 2 starting centers in NBA history. That's a record.
That was a point I wanted to make. I think it's 2 of the best 3-point shooting bigs other than maybe Jokic we've seen in the NBA in a while. So we're the court's going to be completely stretched out on both sides, really. So I just think it's an interesting matchup because they play kind of the same way, really.
Did you just compare Miles Turner to Nikola Jokic? Is this what I heard?
No, I'm just saying Jokic is not afraid to shoot threes. How many other centers do we see that are not afraid to shoot threes? But no, I can't. As much as I love Miles, I can't put him in the level of Jokic. As much as a homer of it I am, I can't make that comparison. Love you, Miles. If you hear this, I bought your jersey this year. I love it. But back to the point, Cat shoots threes, Miles shoots threes. They're not afraid being outside the 3-point line, so they're not going to be probably banging and bashing each other in the post that much. Some probably, but not a ton. So it's going to be an interesting bigs matchup.
I think the post scoring will come largely from Mathurin and Siakam. I mean, I think those are the Pacers' two best slashers.
Yep.
Mathurin for sure. You bring him in and just say, hey, you're not going to do much for us defensively, but just go get buckets. He is kind of that guy that the Pacers have where it's like, hey, just go. We need 10 points from you in 6 minutes of work. Like that's kind of him. I mean, I don't know. Miles, I do think that benefits Miles a little bit being able to, he will be blocking a lot of shots, I think, in this series. He's been good. I see him continuing that.
Well, I think Miles recognizes that one good solid block or a big block can change the momentum of the game so much. Like he's seen that in a couple of different big games here, so I think he recognizes it and agree he'll be trying to get blocks. I need to see Tyrese try and score in the paint more early. I'll be honest with you. I would love to. I need to see him slashing and driving to the rim to be aggressive early and not just like run in there and then look to throw it out right away because they look panicked when they do that early in the game.
When he does that, they win.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm excited to see who the Knicks put on him because I don't feel like they're going to want to spoil OG on Tyrese, but I feel like if they do that, I really like that because I think he can exploit the Knicks.
So it seems like Hart, maybe Hart to start out.
Maybe, but I like that matchup. I like that matchup a lot.
I think they're going to have a bunch of fans with trash bags on Halliburton, throwing him at him.
Yeah, we need to be concerned for this team's safety in New York. Seriously, I'm a little like security all the time. This is where you need James Jordan to just kind of be the goon, I guess, for a lack of better words.
But you
all respect in that term, but
of course.
I've been reliably told since Saturday, based on anything I've seen on social media and ESPN, that the city of Indianapolis is the most dangerous place to play a professional basketball game, and that they should probably move this game out of the state of Indiana. I mean,
I heard the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Public safety, if we're really concerned with player safety, we would be playing this game maybe at the Yum Center in Louisville or something like that, because Indiana cannot handle the responsibility of being a professional sports city.
Well, I'm taking my daughter down to one of those Dangerous Fever games tomorrow, so I'll let you know if we survive. I'm a little nervous. She's 11 years old, so
she's going to be all right.
Go get her. Might want to stop at the track and
Memorial Pod.
Get her some headphones.
The John Robertson Memorial Podcast, Wednesday on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Oh, man. It is dangerous down there.
Just be careful. If you see Dave Portnoy, just go home.
That's right.
Did you see the Pacers fan that got the trash thrown at him? He's getting flown to Indianapolis for Game 4. I love that. I love that Halliburton's doing that.
Yeah, he's definitely good with that stuff. That's definitely the most likable Pacers team of all time. No doubt.
I don't see how people can dislike Halliburton. Like I don't know. He's got a swagger about him, but
on the floor, you could see it. If he was on another team, I'd hate him.
I don't know. I like it. I like it.
The skipping and the gestures and the dash
balls.
He's pomp and circumstance.
He breaks people's hearts on the regular. I get why people hate him.
I mean, how's How's that any worse than, like, I don't know, John Morant? I like John Morant too.
It's not. We hate him too.
I don't hate John. I like John Morant.
I love what John Morant does. If I were John Morant, I'd do it every time. There guns galore all over the stadium. If I hit a three, bang. I mean, I'm pulling it out. I'm doing whatever. I love it. But I think the problem with Tyrese is he's got like negative aura in a sense where he's like kind of, he doesn't have like a swagger about him in like a normal, he's in a normal sense. It's like kind of a weird nerdy, he's a big WWE fan. It's just like different. It's just, and people don't like that. They don't like that.
Skipping down the floor after he hits a three.
Yeah, but how is that any different than LeBron's little whole like silencer push down or whatever? They're like, it's no different.
He's not on our team. That's the only reason it's different than any of those, John.
I
get why people hate him.
I'm going to stun you when I say this, but we're talking about Hallie. I did watch PTI today, and they talked about the four players in the conference finals. Of course, Ant-Man, Shy, Brunson, and Hallie. And Michael Wilbon's like, Halliburton's not in any category near those other three. So even though he was on the Olympic team, what's it going to take for this kid to receive the credit that he so obviously deserves? That he was just a freeloader on the Olympic team is what I hear. And he's nowhere near Donovan Mitchell is what we hear in the second round, even though they won 4-1. So what's it? Does he have to win a ring?
I think it's because most people don't appreciate like a true floor general that passes the ball. They want to see scoring. They want to see exciting, big plays that score points. They don't appreciate a floor general. And until unless he's going to have to win a championship. If he can pull that off, yes, that will help. But I still don't think they'll think he's as dynamic or important as Ant or Shy.
Well, I hope all the Knicks stay healthy so they can beat the Knicks at full strength, and then maybe he'll get a little bit of respect. Because, I mean, that's all it's been. It's like, oh, well, Lillard was out, and then you have three players out for the Cavs. And last year, the only reason the Pacers won and got to the Eastern Conference Finals because the Knicks were banged up. They're banged up because of the way they play, the way their coach coaches them. That's why they're banged up. And yeah, I think it's going to take at least getting to the finals, but I think this is an opportunity for him to cement himself as a legend in Indiana history. If he goes in and he can beat the Knicks in 4 games, like Mike says, I mean, that's legendary. You go take 2 right off the bat. I don't know what else would top it.
But a legend in Indiana still doesn't bring him up to the rest of the country. They're still going to say, well, he's not whoever.
We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care.
Well, I agree. I'm just saying Mike asked what it was going to take to get him up to that stat. And it's going to take – I think he might have to win 2, to be honest with you. It might take 2 to get the rest of the world to pay attention.
He's led a team to more Eastern Conference Finals than 80% of the league.
Well, I agree with you, and we agree with you, but like the rest of the country, this is flyover country. It doesn't matter what you do here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of the issue is people just like shitty basketball. They just like watching just absolutely dumpster fire basketball, which for the most part is kind of what Brunson plays. It's kind of what Ant-Man plays, and it's kind of what Shy plays a little bit too. It's just they're unethical, and people don't like watching ethical, good basketball, and that's how Tyrese Halliburton plays. He plays crisp, he plays pure, he plays on time, he plays on pace, and people don't like that. They like to see. That's why everybody romanticizes Kobe. Rest in peace, of course, but like he's a shot hooker. He didn't play team basketball, and it's why down the stretch of his career he didn't amount to anything. He did everything in the first 12 years of his career, and then just rode on the coattails of that. I mean,
I think you're misremembering history. Toward the end of his career, he tagged a team that the second best player on the team was Lamar. What was that guy's name?
Odom.
Lamar Odom to a championship late in his career.
If you're on a heater, that's great. Like he was. I'm not cementing the fact that he's not a legend of the game. But his style of basketball is, we romanticize what he was. He was a shot hooker. He was a volume scorer in the purest form of the description. And we sit and talk about the Pacers not being healthy. Have we ever considered the Pacers might just be a really physical basketball team that wear physically on opponents? Like, there is a common denominator. The Pacers are always healthy. It's a miracle of God. I don't know how it happens that the Pacers are always healthy when it comes to these series, and the other teams aren't. And I think it's because the Pacers wear on teams.
But they started. I mean, what did we say at the very beginning of the season? If this team stays healthy throughout the year, where could they end up? And I think a lot of us would have said probably right about where they're at today. I mean, some of us were picking over 55 games for them to win this year as long as they stayed healthy. But I think it's their conditioning. I think it's the way they play. They play very fast paced. Kevin Pritchard bringing in a bench that can fill in at any time and people play their roles. We can go deep. So we're always run. And I mean, we're just up and down the court. I just think they're the best conditioned team in the league.
Guys, can you believe it's May 19th? Thinking about 2 years ago where we were as a franchise here. May 19th, 2025. We're talking about 2 straight Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're more than 20% likely to win the championship, but 20% is pretty good.
20%'s good.
It's so weird you say that, Greg, because the second straight Eastern Conference Finals for the Indiana Pacers. They did it twice back-to-back in last decade. I don't know. Remember the years they lost to the Heat?
12 and 13.
12 and 13. Okay, they did it, and they made the finals in 2000. We've sat here and we've rattled off. They've had bad seasons.
Not
but
many.
Think about the absolute shit franchise that we're getting ready to play in the finals that gets treated like some form of basketball royalty, who's making the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 2 decades. They're the Uncle Rico of the NBA. They peaked in the 70s. 1973. I was 6 years away from being born. Was the last time this team won anything. Had the merger even happened by then? What year did the ABA-NBA merger have?
No, the last time both franchises won a championship was 1973.
So, I mean, the Pacers can't count their ABA titles, but the Knicks walk around like just this franchise that just is hallowed, and like they're not even like the Cowboys laugh at how bad they've been through the years. And I mean, everybody knows a shit Yankees fan, everybody knows a shit Mets fan, everybody knows a Giants fan that they hate, everybody knows a Jets fan that they hate, everybody knows a Rangers fan they hate, everybody knows an Islanders fan that they hate. They all root for this shitty freaking team. This is the one team that all those teams have in common. Let's just absolutely just run this shithole out of the NBA and get it out over with in 4 games. I'm so tired of talking about the damn Knicks.
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, they beat Boston, and I mean, I've heard a lot of people say it's, now it's championship or bust, and that was like their championship, the way they celebrated. I mean, the fans were just like, oh my God, super excited out in 7th Street, climbing up light poles and stuff. I mean, come on. They don't even have to be good fans in New York.
But it's so dangerous down at the field house that I doubt the New York fans will show up to downtown Indianapolis.
I mean,
probably.
The Knicks are a poverty franchise. New York City is a shitty city. It's a poverty city. I hate it. I've been once, and it's disgusting. I hate everything about New York City. I'd never go back. And they're just the shittiest people. I mean, in the nicest way I can say it, they're just assholes. They go to Florida. They've ruined the Atlantic coast of Florida. I've never been to Boston, but I know that New York and New Jersey have ruined the Atlantic coast of Florida. So it's now like 3 states they've just completely shit on and made their problem. And they're not going to come to our state and make it our problem. We are going to take care of business, win this series, and show that we're not just a flyover state. We're not. We might not have too many direct flights to New York City, but we are not a flyover state.
I mean,
Anybody else? Go ahead.
I don't know how to really top that. I agree with Will. I have one more trip to New York in me before I die, and that's the last time I'm going. I'm taking my daughter to see Madison Square Garden and the Knicks. Like the next time the Pacers play there, not in the series, but at some point in the next 5 years, we're going to go watch the Pacers play there just to check it off the list. But then I'm never going back.
Definitely on my bucket list is Madison Square Garden. Definitely.
Yeah.
Go for something good like a Billy Joel concert. Don't go for a Knicks game.
Well, no, we're trying to see the Pacers play at every arena. Yeah, we've done 8 so far, so I'm gonna at some point have to see Madison Square Garden. But then once I'm done with that, I'm never going back.
It's a great place to visit. I just can't imagine wanting to live there.
What's good about it? They have shitty pizza. Pizza King tops any New York pizza I've ever had in my life. Hell, Casey's Pizza. Casey's Pizza tops. I mean, we sit and we just prop this state up. For their taxes are outrageous. They have shitty government. It's awful. The state is just an absolute dumpster fire altogether. Throw Buffalo in there. Throw Syracuse. All of it. I just wish we got rid of the state and we just went to 49 and we just got rid of New York altogether. I'm so tired of just anything with New York. The Rangers suck. The Islanders suck. The Nets suck.
Don't
the
talk
Mets
about
and
Islanders like that.
The Mets and Yankees have to have $1 billion payroll and take out second mortgages on houses for New York families to build a winning roster. It's just ridiculous. It's just blasphemy.
I'm going to go on record and saying I like rural New York. I like rural New York. I don't like New York City.
I want to go to Cooperstown before we secede from the Union. Can I go to Cooperstown once before we get rid of them, and I have to have a passport to get there?
Go now.
Okay.
Go now. Before Will.
Well, hopefully the subways don't shut down because I know the drivers are on strike in New York.
That's right.
I hope there's not just shit all over the city. I mean, and rats and garbage.
There is a lot of garbage all over the city. It's one of the dirtiest cities I've ever been to.
They were all out walking around 7th Street. All the garbage was. I mean, throwing shit at Pacers fans. It's just, oh my God.
That was probably not the best place to have a Halliburton jersey on it.
Hey, the guy stood on business. I'll give it to him. He stood on business.
I give the guy his props, but I mean, but some of that was stupidity. I mean,
okay.
In the world, you have to accept jerseys from other teams, Mike.
No, not when you're getting ready to go play them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, come on, know your audience. I mean, you're in New York City. You're at around Madison Square Garden. You're wearing a Pacer fan. I mean, I
be
hate
who you can afford to be.
I mean, it shows the character of the Knicks fan, of course, but still.
Are we sure, based on everything I've ever heard about being an Eagles fan, that wasn't just a bunch of Eagles fans pretending to be Knicks fans?
It was. Probably was.
But no, seriously, if somebody did that in Indianapolis, that would never happen. That reaction would never happen in Indianapolis. That would not even be thought of hey, we're just going to throw shit on this guy and make his experience awful. Taunting's different than assaulting the guy. I mean, it's just.
I'll go to a St. Louis game and I'll sit in seats with season ticket holders with a Cubs jersey on, and I feel comfortable doing it. But
bullshit,
I would not go to New York City and wear a Pacer jersey when they just won a game to go into the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers. I mean, that's just, you're kind of asking for it.
I'm going to go with Will and say that even if that did happen, let's say a couple of rowdy Pacers fans did try to attack a New York guy. Let's just pretend that a couple of, I truly believe that the majority of Pacers fans would step in and break it up rather than pile on. I truly believe that from all the interactions I've seen in Gamebridge, other than Fever games. Now, Fever games is a different story.
Adult, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on what I saw on Get Up this morning, if you wore a Chicago Sky jersey in Indianapolis, you'd be thrown in the canal.
You did not make it out alive.
I saw Sky jerseys. I saw they were walking down the back roads going to Gainbridge.
And they made it out alive?
And they made it out alive. I mean, Angel Reese, apparently, I don't think she felt like she was going to make it out alive. But, but.
Amazing.
I heard that homeless people were eating Sky fans, like literally just like jumping on them and eating them, like they're like night crawlers or something. That's what I heard.
And we condone it on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, I don't. You know what? Sure, hell, why not? Yeah, I'll condone it. I'll say it's fine. Why not?
Will's going to be down throwing $20 bills at homeless people so they attack Knicks fans before the game.
Eat the Knicks fans.
Yeah, I mean, I would. If you are from the state of Indiana, and you are a Knicks fan, you deserve to be. You deserve to get your ass beat. In my opinion, it's just
at the very least, you're our least favorite citizen if you're a Knicks fan and you're from Indiana.
You could be a transplant, but why would you be a Knicks fan? It goes back to what I said. What if you did not live in New York? What has this franchise done in the last 30 years to warrant being just a blind fan of just a shit basketball operation?
Traded for Amari Stoudemire. I mean, that's about it.
What's good about the franchise? Madison Square Garden seems to be a cool place, but what's good about that franchise?
OG Anunoby played for IU.
Well, I mean,
he's staying now.
I mean, we have to give credit to their starting lineup. They have talent, right? Like we said it earlier in the pod, but they do have talent. That's good. But like, what's likable? That's a different question that I don't have an answer for.
Mark Jackson.
Well, that's another example of somebody who played there and then came to Indiana to get their revenge, like for being not utilized and treated poorly in there. So that's kind of why I think Obi's going to have a series. Same scenario there.
And he still comes back to Indiana. He was at the.
He was at one of the games recently.
He was at the Cavs game.
Yeah.
And signing autographs.
We've made it this far into a Knicks Pacers. And how crappy we hate this, and how much we hate this franchise, and haven't mentioned Larry Johnson once, which is pretty impressive.
Who?
He played for Charlotte.
Oh wait, you guys are gonna hate me. I have a Charlotte Larry Johnson jersey. I have a Charlotte Larry Johnson jersey.
And John Robertson was never heard from again.
He gets what he deserves going to that Fever game on Tuesday night now.
I wouldn't catch a dark alley with homeless people. You need to get your ass out of there.
I was going to say, one of Will's zombie homeless is going to eat John after the game now.
If you don't feel safe taking your daughter to that kind of environment, I can meet you down there. I'll pay for parking, so just let me know.
Fair enough.
I'm not afraid of the homeless people.
No, apparently you control them. This has gone off the rails. So this has been a lot of fun, guys. Our Eastern Conference Finals preview roundtable.
It all started with the Pizza King comment. It's been just
it did.
Yeah.
And I love Pizza King, but wow, that was quite a. I suppose our downtown statue is better than the Statue of Liberty too.
Well, I mean, when we went, Dad had to, auction off his left kidney to afford, their food because it's, $18 for a slice of pizza. It's just horseshit. It's just, there's nothing good about New York. I've gone on my spiel. I won't say anymore, but nothing good.
Well, at least for the listeners or viewers on YouTube, the first half of this podcast was about basketball. So and at least that counts as a view or a listen. So there you go.
That's right. Second half's the best part of the podcast, though.
Bit of a runaway.
Will's Yelp review on New York.
Yeah. I wouldn't even give him my time. I wouldn't even give my time to write about New York.
Where not to go in New York?
Everywhere. Don't step foot.
You get out of the city, it's pretty too. Northern New York's nice.
Manhattan's beautiful, man. What are you guys talking about?
It is.
Manhattan's an incredible place. The rest of New York kind of sucks, but New York City kind of sucks. But Manhattan's incredible.
I mean, I've been out on Long Island on the Sound.
And Long Island's not even really part of New York City.
I'm aware, Greg.
No, I'm saying the Islanders aren't even. You can't even count the Islanders in all this.
Well,
right?
they don't. No, they moved to.
They're in New York. Yeah,
oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
The Coliseum out in Nassau County was, an absolute shithole. The sewers were, the toilets were overflowing. The ceiling was leaking. There was, it was not a pleasant experience.
Well, their owner bought the franchise with an IOU, I believe. So
I had never heard that story until I watched an ESPN doc just a couple weeks ago.
It's an excellent 30 for 30.
It's a great.
It's so good.
It's one of the crazy. It would be like the four of us throwing our money together and getting an NHL team out of it.
Yeah, based on weirdest. Based all on credit.
Yeah. Just in fake documents and
yes. And he owned them for like 15 years.
You gotta respect the hustle of that guy. The cut, you gotta respect it. I mean,
you kind of did when you watch the documentary. You're kind of like, this guy's a scumbag, and I kind of respect it.
Yeah. And also, Yankee Stadium is the most overrated ballpark in the entire country. I will stand on that. There is nothing cool. It's like going to Great American. It's the exact same. There's nothing cool about it.
Except
it's
for
just
the players
other than
who played there. You're right.
Hey, that's not fair because there's always a chance of street violence when you're leaving Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it's true. Got to hustle down to the subway and make sure the sewer rats don't get you before you get there.
It's not like
zombie homeless.
It's not like level of downtown Indy violence, but still.
Well, speaking of downtown Indy violence, it brings up another point that I wanted to talk about. The Pacers are having a Game 2 watch party at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tickets are free. They go on sale in the morning, in the morning. So me and my wife and daughter and one of her friends were planning on going down there. We did that during the in-season tournament when they were in the championships against LA last year. It's a really fun, exciting way to watch the game. They put the game live up on the jumbotrons and stuff, and then all the little vendors are open and everything. So we're going to do it, but if anybody else is thinking about it, I highly recommend try to get online, get some tickets tomorrow for that. I think it's cool. They're doing it for Game 2 on Friday night. So it's a really cool experience, honestly, to be in the, it's kind of like watching it on TV, only the TV's huge and you're surrounded by I think for that one there was maybe 7,000 or 8,000 people there. It wasn't full, but it was still cool. So you just log on tomorrow. I can send you guys a link, but you'll log on to Pacers website tomorrow and then just get free tickets.
Yeah, send me a link. I'd go.
Everybody get down there.
I can. I will not be in town, but I will be watching with eager eyes.
That's, of course, if you're willing to risk the downtown Indy violence at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Okay, so you talk about that on Friday. Let's move to Sunday. I'm not familiar enough with race day in Indianapolis.
Oh my God, dude! You have no idea.
Logistically, how do they pull this off?
Just go down Benford Boulevard.
The hardest part.
Everybody's out by 5 at the Speedway.
Yeah.
The hardest part's going to be getting from the Speedway parking to Gainbridge parking. That's going to be the hardest part because the parking. If you don't leave the race slightly early, you're going to be stuck in traffic for a while.
And they're not close to each other.
Oh, you're going to both?
No, I'm just like how is it even possible to do both?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could walk. You can walk from the Speedway to Gainbridge. I mean, it's going to take you an hour. Honestly, your best bet would probably be to park somewhere in between Gainbridge and the race. Your best bet might be to, if you're not somebody that's like trying to get shit faced at 6 a.m., which you should. It's fun. Especially at the race. But I would park downtown and I would just walk to the Speedway. It's going to take you an hour and a half probably, but you're going to save a ton of sanity in traffic if you do that.
Or park downtown, Uber to the track, and then walk from the track back to downtown. That actually might be an okay way to do it too.
Yeah. Other than you have to worry about the dynamic pricing.
I've been to the track once in my life. How far of a walk are you talking from downtown?
It's a walk.
5 miles.
Oh wow!
If you go, you gotta the mini course is not straight. I mean, you're kind of looping around. If you were straight from the Speedway to Gamebridge, I don't know. If you walked with a pace, it'd take you an hour probably.
But if you parked in between, you could just drive right over. Probably it won't be that big.
I'm putting it into my directions right now. We'll see.
You really? I mean, you're talking 300,000 people. You don't think? I mean, if you park at Speedway High School, you are stuck in traffic for 3 hours after the race. It is a big deal.
Everyone's out about by 5.
Well,
That's
that is
the way it's gone for the last 40 years.
10 miles.
According to maps, it is 5.2 miles, but they're claiming it to be a 2-hour walk. I don't know how it's a 2-hour walk on 5 miles, but
that's a stroll. Yeah.
Hey, you could get cardio in to bring your running shoes. I mean, you could just get a quick little 5-miler at the beginning of the day and a 5-miler with about 30 Michelob Ultras in you on the way back.
I've never done both in the same day, but I have a hard time thinking I'd be able to do it just after having been to the race and knowing how tired and exhausted I am after the race, and then to put a Pacers game on top of it. Maybe when I was 25, I think I maybe could have done it, but I don't think I could now.
I think I'm leaving at 6:30 on Sunday to go to the race.
I can't do either anymore. I don't even have that much in me anymore to do either one of those things.
The atmosphere in that city, there might not be a better place to be in America.
I remember 94, how cool it was the first time that it happened.
Well, I mean, it's just the entire city is going to be shut down. I mean, everybody's going to be. I mean, it's just going to be a massive block party. I mean, you're going to have people, cooking out for the race, listen to the race on the radio, and then, driving in to get to the Pacers game. And it's just if that's a game where the Pacers can go up like 3-1. Let's just, get back to, I guess, basketball a little bit. Like, if that's a game where the Pacers can get to, like, 3-1, like, it's going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere. Even if it's 2-1, they're down 2-1 and they're trying to tie the series. Like, it's just going to be, well, no, that'd be game 3, right?
Yeah, it'll be game 3.
Okay. Then if it's like, they're down 2-0 and they need a big win or something, or it's split and they can go up 2-1, like, it's just going to be crazy.
Well, and another thing to factor in if you're trying to do both is there's 75% chance of rain on Sunday, so rain delays can really screw with the schedule.
Oh,
well, and depending on it, rain delays could push to Monday. I mean, if they don't think they're going to be able to get it in, they won't.
Well, last year I took my daughter to her first Indy 500, and we had a 3.5-hour rain delay where we were chilling under the bleachers, and it was kind of crazy.
That was a blast last year. I had a great time.
So I was worried. Oh, go ahead.
They had these kids that they were racing, and they set up racing lanes, and people were just racing back and forth. And me and a buddy, we just got general admission tickets and didn't sit anywhere or anything like that, and just drank beer all day and got soaked.
Hell yeah!
It was a good time.
I was a little nervous because I didn't know at the time she was 10. I didn't know how a 10-year-old would feel about a rain delay for her first race and all that stuff. She thought it was the greatest thing. Like, she loved watching, it was basically a frat party underneath the track, and she thought that was fun. And I've taken her to Vegas, so she's seen some pretty crazy stuff. But, the guys running across the porta potties getting beer cans thrown at them, she thought that was funny. She just had a blast. She loved it. So,
Mike, you've never been to the race, Hutzel?
No, I've never.
Call yourself a sports fan? You never been to the 500?
I've lived in Indiana my whole life, and I've never gone to the 500. I have a rivalry with crowds, and that is a deep crowd.
It's a big crowd.
Yeah, I went to the Brickyard, and I know it's not even comparable, and I hated being at the Brickyard, so it's always soured me on potentially doing the 500 because it's like take the crowd that I was in, double it to 300,000, 350. No, I don't know if that's for me.
That's completely fair.
I would say it might even be more like quadruple the Brickyard at this point.
Oh, it is.
This was one of the earlier Brickyards. So,
okay.
Yeah, it was before the race completely fell off the bat.
This is one of the first years the race has been televised in Indiana, so it's sold out.
I was gonna ask about that. Like, I know this is a Pacers podcast, but how do you guys feel about them lifting the blackout in Indy for the race?
I think it's fantastic.
I don't think it's actually going to change the needle. I think people love listening to it on the radio so much. I mean, it'll get viewership. I'm not questioning that, but I mean, people love to listen to it on the radio and hang out in the garage and drink beer. I mean, that's just kind of what. And it's just such a family affair.
You still listen to it on the radio and watch it on TV.
Well, I think that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're going to have the radio on out back, and we're going to have the cookout out back, and then we're going to have it on the TV, because we already talked about it, because what our tradition has been, listen to it on the radio and have a cookout. So I think we're going to have that going on with the big PA speakers out back, and then just have it on the TV if anybody wants to flip it on.
I remember first time I watched it on TV in 1994. I went to a graduation in Dallas, Texas, and I was like, "Holy cow! The race is on TV. I've never seen it on TV before."
So you've always gotten it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's always been on here. I mean, I've watched it almost every year, but I've never been. Imagine being like the Indy 11 or the Indians this weekend.
Get no attention.
I don't know. Those Indian games will be packed. If you're visiting this, well, I don't. If they're at home, I don't know. But like, if you're just hanging out in downtown, like go do. I mean, Indy's so walkable. You could stay over by the field house, and it takes you 20 minutes to get to watch a ball game, go back. I mean, it's just a great sports weekend.
Great place. That's another great place to watch a sporting event.
Best minor league ballpark in the entire league.
Have you been there this year?
Something else to complain about. I mean, Indy is the best big event city in the country, I think, and not New York.
That's
when the Super Bowl's in New York, it's played in a swamp in New Jersey. When they do it in Indy, I mean, I went to the Royal Rumble this year. That was a huge event, just perfectly fine, walkable downtown. Everybody was, friendly. Everybody loved each other. No stabbings outside the arena. Yeah, in Indy, amazingly enough.
Wow.
Went to Shapiro's before the event. Great day all around. You could walk from your hotel, do whatever you wanted. You can't do that in New York.
No, it's a fantastic place.
Oh.
It is without question the center of sports in America.
I wish Indy deserves a Super Bowl again so bad. It was such a good Super Bowl. Like just that whole.
Well, besides who won,
exactly.
I'm not saying the game. I'm saying like the what Indy did as far as completely redoing the convention center and stuff to make basically every downtown hotel almost indoor accessible at this point to get to the convention center and stuff. It just. I get, the NFL, if you build a new stadium, you get it, and they want it in a warm weather place, but Indy just deserves a WrestleMania. Indy deserves everything. If it can NFL be an Indy, yes.
They
got a WrestleMania, didn't they?
Yeah, it's coming in a few years. I don't know what year they chose for it. They got the Rumble this year. They're getting SummerSlam one year, and they're getting Mania. Irsay's trying to get the draft into town. I mean, everybody who attended that Super Bowl, like the media, loved Indianapolis as a city. It was unseasonably warm that week, which was nice. But I think it was Rick Riley I heard say, it's like everyone in New York took a Xanax. That's how friendly everybody was in the city of Indianapolis.
Well, the one thing, though, that's got to change, they got to get that downtown Steak and Shake 24 hours again. You can't. Yeah, that's criminal. That is a criminal offense.
Where everybody went.
Charles Barkley's already got a seat reserved at St. Elmo. Well done, filet mignon, he said.
So if he's having the filet well done, I'm just assuming he's not touching the cocktail sauce. Like I'm just going to assume that.
Guarantee he's not.
You can get that at the airport now. They got the 1933 lounge open at the airport.
Nice.
I was there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I got to eat here. So I'm going to get some of the shrimp cocktail, and that's all I got.
And then we started talking about airports and anything other than basketball, so I cut it off there. Man, that was a fun discussion. Can't wait to continue to do that through the next couple of weeks, as of course we will do. Thank you so much for listening. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find. Please do that so you don't miss any segments. And please share these podcasts with your friends and family and really everyone else you know. We thank you in advance. Vamonos Pacers. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product by TG Media. And I love Susie.